Sorry.
We're live now.
Which link do I go? Which link do I use?
I don't know. I'm going to find a link right now. I'm assuming we're live somewhere. Hi, FSeries fans.
I don't know if we're anywhere.
Oh yeah,
we're on
I just got
the
on
notification.
We're on YouTube.
I've got the link.
Okay. Oh, I can see us. Brilliant. Right, send it into the other live chat. Let's see what's going on.
Over here now. Come join us.
This has gone spectacularly well.
Hasn't it, Joss?
Where?
This is honestly brilliant.
It's all right. Jess is here. Hi, Jess.
Hey.
Hi, guys.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining. We are nearly there.
Mm-hmm. Why can I hear myself?
Yeah, there's open in the background, so I'm just going to close that.
Yeah, please do. Okay, we're nearly there, I think. Hopefully people are now going to come over.
So, yeah, boys. Sods for all the technical difficulties, dudes.
Yeah. Hi, Josie. Hi, Kate. Our best fans.
Who? Never heard of them.
Yeah, we're so sorry that we're late, guys. We literally.
Oh, Kira, you've got a fan.
Have I? I'm not looking at the chat, so thanks.
At the F1 squad says Kira, I want to date you.
Whoa, thanks. I want to date me too.
All right, hi guys. How are we all doing?
You talking to me?
Brilliant. I don't know. Really, there was a rhetorical question. Who knows?
Rhetorical.
Okay. So we're basically just going to break down Drive to Survive. So I hope you've all seen it. If you haven't watched it, there are spoilers ahead, so maybe just save this live for later, for once you've done it. But ask any questions of stuff that you want to know in the chat, and we will answer them throughout the live. But we're just gonna have a little chat, let you guys know what we thought about it, and you guys can let us know what you thought about it. So yeah, we're just gonna get straight in. So ladies, favorite episode, why, favorite part? Just what was the best bit of this season for you guys?
I mean, I think I'd be lying if I said that my favourite episode wasn't the Comeback Kid episode with Pierre. I obviously loved that episode, to see his win in Monza, because I didn't get to see it when it was actually happening. So yeah, I really, really liked that episode, and I think it was done really well, like following him on his little journey.
Yeah, I mean, me and Charlotte are basically the same person. So I also loved the Pierre Gasly episode, and I think as well I liked it the most because of the fact that we saw such a different episode a year before, and it's like a turn of events. But another thing I like is we will always get a Daniel Ricciardo episode, and I did say this in something else. I said if you were to take all of the Daniel Ricciardo episodes and watch them from season 1 to season 3, you could create such a picture of his career over the past like 3 or 4 years. So I love that we're following Daniel Ricciardo every couple of years. Hopefully next year he doesn't have another dramatic one and he's going to leave McLaren and go to I don't even know where. Hopefully nowhere. Hopefully he just stays. But I love the Pierre Gasly episode. I love the Daniel Ricciardo episode. Some episodes I didn't like too much, but I'm sure we'll get onto that a little bit later.
Can I just say, before you say anything, Steffi, your lovely dad would like a shout out.
Hi.
The Wentworths,
right. So all of the fam are in the chat. Hi, fam. They're literally downstairs, but you've been supporting me, so thank you. And thanks to everyone who is saying hi, and we love you all.
Yes, hello everybody. Should we answer some of these questions before they go?
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
Do questions in the middle.
Let's do the first one. What do you think about Bottas's sauna part?
Honestly, it wasn't right. It was at the start of the episode, so it just wasn't expected. We were like, "Oh, we're in Finland with Valtteri Bottas." Bum. Okay, we weren't prepared, but I mean, it's nice to see what he does in his spare time, I guess. But it made it funny. Like, to be fair, it made it funny. That's like the main thing. If you think, what's the funniest thing about DTS? It was the Valtteri Bottas bum. If not, what would be the funniest thing? I couldn't think of anything. So it was a good, 10 seconds. I
mean, to be fair, everyone is talking about it. So Bottas. Even Daniel Ricciardo is talking about. Everybody is talking about Bottas's bum. So it did get more airtime than Kimi Räikkönen. To be fair.
Or Danny Kvyat.
It's the memes that come with it. Like me and Elliot woke up late, so we only watched from like 9, and then everyone on Twitter was like, we're just like about Valtteri, and I was like, what the hell am I missed? Like, what is going on here? Like, but yeah, that was just something that was a bit of a. Don't know if I needed to see that because.
Yeah, bit too much. TMI. We've got Rob the Green Engine who's asking, have we come up with a ranking for the series so far? I don't think we've actually talked about which one has been the best, but I wouldn't say that this one was the best of them all.
I just think it's so difficult to know because all of the seasons are different. Like, I think obviously they're going to progressively get better with production and how they do things, but at the same time, they're not because of COVID. Like, they had to stick to one team. Like, obviously, we didn't get a lot of things last year that we should have done, but because they're stuck with the team, they are with the team. You can't be like, oh, sorry, going over to Mercedes now. So that's kind of just how it was this year. I don't know if I really say I would prefer this one over this one because there's pros and cons for all of them. I feel like this was the most fabricated one, but maybe it's because I know more about Formula One now. I don't know what it is. So I liked it. I didn't hate it. Overall, I think it was positive, and I'd watch it again.
Yeah, I think it was just the fact that I could tell that some of the things that they put in wasn't even happened in that season, like some of the radio messages, especially the one with Seb and Charles when it was actually the Brazil radio message and they put it over stereo. And I was laying there and I was like, I swear he didn't say that. And I was like, I've heard this before, but it wasn't this race. And obviously I realised it was actually Brazil. I actually did really like season 2, and I think that's been my favourite so far. But I still like this season. Like, I'd watch it again if I was bored.
I'd rank it 1, 2, 3, as in like season 1 first, season 2 second, season 3 third. And maybe it's just because I have like sentimental feelings with season 1 because I watched it when I was very depressed. And it just made me happy about Formula One again. So I have like a lot of sentimental value with season 1. And then maybe it was because we didn't know what to expect as well, is that season 1 was kind of so good because it came like right out of the bat. We got Daniel Ricciardo, and even though we didn't have Ferrari and Mercedes, I don't know, season 1 just does it for me.
I always forget that we didn't have them in the first season because it's still like 10 episodes and you just expect 10 episodes, 10 teams. But yeah, oh my God, we didn't.
No. But we were talking about things that we didn't like there. So let's just jump onto what we like. What was your least favorite part of the
Carlos and Lando episode? It was such a stupid thing. The Carlos and Lando had a very healthy rivalry. It was not dramatic. I know people have been defending it but they did have a rivalry. Yeah, they did. They had the closest one in Formula One last year, but it wasn't a harsh rivalry and it wasn't something that they made it out to be. I just feel like the episode was boring. It did not need to be as long as it needed to be. It probably could have been a segment of an episode, but to have a whole episode on it was just, I think it was just way too much. It was just silly. It also made it out as if Carlos had such bad issues and Lando had no issues and Lando sailed through. It's like, well, that wasn't really the case. So honestly, just wasn't a fan of that one really.
Yeah, I agree. And also this Imogen in the chat said they made Carlos and Lando's bromance look so toxic, when if you watch not even just McLaren and Box, if you just watch how they are on social media together, obviously they're going to have a rivalry. Their teammates, everyone on the grid will have a rivalry with each other because they want to be the best and they want to do the best. But also they just sort of showed it out as if like there was like secret underlying like hate there between them. And I'm like, that's generally not the case. Like, yeah, they're obviously going to be wanting to push each other and beat each other, but I just don't think the fact that Carlos was leaving to go to Ferrari automatically changed that bromance to be toxic. So yeah, I didn't really like that. And I also think that the fact that Lewis was only like they didn't even really acknowledge the record that he broke. Like the whole of Turkey, that should have been at least a whole episode. The Turkish Grand Prix should have been a whole episode. And I know they can't include everything, but honestly, how the hell do you miss out one of the best races of the season, if not the best race? Like, how do you do that?
All right, definitely wasn't the best race, but like, what I will say is like the thing that really irked me about this is I know I bang on about this all the time, and I talked about it in our Chasing the Dream video. Chronology. Why can we not have things in chronological order?
But
we went back to Austria. We went back to Austria about 7 different times in like all the episodes. It was so frustrating. We knew exactly what had gone on in Austria. It's like if we were talking about the start of the season, set up the storylines there, and then you can come back to them in further episodes when we come down the line. And Monza, that was a massive, because we obviously we literally talked about that with Ferrari. We talked about it with Pierre, and then we came back to it in the Carlos episode as well. So that was at least 3 times that Monza was mentioned. Now, Monza is, you could argue with Turkey, it was definitely one of the best races of the season. There's so much to talk about, and we could have had a whole episode on Monza that focused on different storylines rather than having Monza appear in the different storylines several times throughout the season. That's something that really frustrated me. I wish we had a little bit more chronology, because I'm sorry, but Drive to Survive is aimed at these new fans. As a new fan, I would not be able, well, I'm not a new fan, but if I were a new fan, I would not be able to keep up with being in Austria, then Monza, then Silverstone, then Bahrain. Like, it was so difficult to keep up with where we were. And I watched the season. So, yeah, that's all I'm going to say.
I would just say on that point, I know that they've done it last year as well, though, but you've got to remember that they did have to stick with the same teams for that weekend. So it would be very difficult for them to have done it like that, because they had to be with the specific people and do that on a specific episode, if that makes sense. So it wasn't like we weren't doing a recap of the year. We were doing episodes on different people, hence why we had to go back so many times. But I completely agree. I did want to see Austria that many times. I did not want to see Monza that many times. Like, I've seen Charles Leclerc in the wall 10 times.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. So we've got all of these things. Like, clearly there were so many opportunities for everyone in Austria. Why didn't we set that up like in one go? So the bits that you, because I don't know how much footage they have and stuff, because unfortunately I was not working for Netflix. So I don't know how much footage I'm still. It
sounds like you're like, I wasn't working with them back then, but now I am.
But now I have a job and I'm literally behind the camera.
No, I'm joking. But like, compile your footage in a more efficient way. That's all I'm saying. But Jess says, what's one thing that we were gutted that wasn't put in? I feel like we kind of touched on that about the fact that we wanted Turkey.
Definitely Turkey.
Anything
I
else?
just wanted to see Turkey so I could see Bottas spin it about 10,000 times.
I would like to answer this one here. Did you like the Cyril and Ricardo drama? Oh, yeah. Oh, my God. Cyril. We all knew Cyril was butthurt. Shall we just say? We all knew his butthurt from that press release that came out when Daniel was leaving, from what he said in the media. We knew this guy was butthurt, okay? And then to see what he was saying, he's like, I'm not taking it personal, but Daniel is leaving me. He's going to make such a bad decision. It was so funny. I loved it. I really loved it.
I actually really felt for him.
Same.
Like, I felt really bad for him because he looked so sad. And when you actually think about it from his perspective, like they did like think it was going to be a long-term project together. And well, at least from Cyril's perspective, he thought that. So then he just leaves after once. My heart honestly broke for Cyril. He was literally talking about it like a breakup. And then Christian Horner was like, it's like when your girlfriend dumps you, but she hasn't moved out of the house.
That was really
honestly, that made me die. That was.
Do you know
so
what
funny.
actually cracks me up? If you go from like season 1 to season 3, you can just see how like grey Cyril's hair has got through the stress of managing Renault. And I just look at him and I'm just like, oh, you're so cute, but also at the same time, like, that's your loss, mate. But get a better team.
Because there is two sides of it. Because from one, if you look at it from the outside, it's like, well, you know, Renault didn't deliver. But from one side of things, it's like Renault thought they were on this trajectory with Daniel to last for like 5-6 years. But Daniel actually said in the episode, by year 2, Renault said that they would be scoring podiums. And actually, if you look at when they signed Daniel, that was kind of what they were aiming at. They were really high up in the midfield. They were like best of the rest. So I can see why Daniel looked at that and thought, you're not doing what you promised me. You know what I mean? So I'm like, I get it from both sides. I feel bad for Cyril. I've always liked Cyril. I have. I can't lie. No, I really understand. Did you see, right? Even when he was speaking in English, he had to have his subtitles on because he's so quick. So funny.
Cassidy made a good point that Williams and Claire and the whole takeover, like, not being funny, I like the last season when we had the Williams episode and how all the drama went down with the car not being ready. I thought, okay, it's really interesting to see like what actually went down with them. And the fact this was just such a big moment, like Williams is no longer with the Williams family. And that just like, why was that not shown? Like they've done so much for the sport. They've got so much history. I know they're still in the sport as Williams, but like the family what makes it. And I was just so gutted that there was nothing about it. And I saw that press release or like interview from Claire's husband, and he just generally sounded like so sad and angry that like she like that wasn't focused on, because it was such a big moment in the season. I remember everyone tweeting how sad they were that they were leaving, and we got nothing.
And it was Monza, right? Wasn't it?
Yeah, I'm going to come back to the fact that it was so much happened that weekend, and you could have done so many storylines because they touched on all of them throughout the season. So it's like you had the footage and you had everything that you needed to follow those storylines. You could have like made that into an episode. I would have wanted a Monza episode. I'm just vexed. I'm just vexed about that. I just needed a Monza episode, like, honestly. Okay, thoughts on the way Grosjean. Who?
Oh my gosh, it's Big Star. Emily's featuring Big Star. Big up Big Star 1, 2, 3. Sorry. Right. I was like, that's Vic. That's not Emily.
Right. Thoughts on the portrayal of the crash?
Heavy.
I don't know. Like when it was when it happened, and the way that Sky just showed the footage over and over and over again,
well, it was
and
all
also
one. They just had even like where the drivers were sitting there. Playing in every bloody screen.
And also for the Abu Dhabi, literally every half an hour was going back. And I think it was important to get like Grosjean's like view on it, because obviously it is really scary. But I just hate seeing that image of him climbing out. Like, it actually gives me the stress of like what I felt back then. But I mean, I think they did it in a nice way, like letting him talk and obviously letting his wife come in and stuff like that. And you could actually see the emotions on the drivers. And Gunther, like I've never seen him like that before.
Literally,
like you could actually see, oh my God, this is really, really affecting these people. And just the way that Lewis was there just like this, and I was just like, okay, we've actually got to see not just the crash, but the effects that it has on the whole team and the rest of the drivers. So I think it was a really nice sort of way to like pay tribute to like what had happened and the like awareness around it. But also, I don't really want to see fire all the time. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I do think that they overplayed it when it happened, but I think so. I'm really desensitized to it now, but it does still make me emotional when I see it. So I don't really know how I felt about it. Do you know what? There was only 2 times that I cried, and we all know Steph cries a lot, but I actually haven't been as. I
mean, she nearly just cried trying to sort this out. So
okay, let's not bring it up. But there was 2 episodes that I cried. One on the Pierre Gasly episode, and then talking about the Grosjean incident. So those are the 2 times that I cried, and honestly, every time I look at that, I'm like, that is such a miracle that you survived that, and every time,
thanks, Rob.
Without fail, I am like, thank God that you survived. And it's so scary to watch it over and over again, but I'm really glad that they're not trying to ignore. I don't think Netflix were going to ignore it, because it's a massive, obviously dramatic part of the series, and obviously Netflix were not going to cut that out. But I don't think they did a bad job of it. I think the way that they kind of like dramatized it, and we spoke to the med team, and you know
I just got told to smile.
Oh yeah,
if I smile, I lose my eye.
Somebody else talk.
Sorry. I don't need to carry on. Sorry. Okay. Firstly, there was actually a different camera angle, which I don't think I saw ever, and it was a really close up footage of the incident. And Grosjean has spoken before about how he tried to lift the right shoulder, left shoulder, then his foot got stuck, came out, and I had it replaying in my head as I watched this footage, and I was like, I can see exactly what he's talking about. Obviously, it was dramatized, but at the end of the day, it's Netflix. Like, I didn't expect them to do something that wasn't to do with Netflix and Drive to Survive. You know, that's the whole point of it. It was a good episode. I feel like it had a good balance between this is the accident and it was drama, you know, it was a big thing, but also speaking to Grosjean after, seeing what he'd done after, speaking to Marion. So yeah, I feel like as well, you know, people don't realise that I know Haas are in such a situation, and they have been since they joined Formula One, but there was a reason Gunther kept on both Roman and Kevin for the longest time. They were his family. They had such a close bond that has anyway, because the team is so small. They're all a family. We've seen from other episodes, Gunther loves Roman like his own. Like, they are so close, and he can rip the poo out of him, but at the same time they can literally be best mates the next day. And it was such a hard decision, I think, for him to have to, you know, drop him after, and then to see that situation happen and not know whether he was going to walk out. Because not being funny, I don't think anybody really thought that he would walk out the way he did. It was hard for Gunther, and I think people need to realize that they had they do have a really strong relationship, and it would have been very hard on him and the whole team.
Yeah, and just on that point, keep sending questions, guys.
Yeah, we're going to answer some questions.
Yeah, but just on that point, I really, really enjoyed that episode of where they focused on Gunther's choice. I think it was episode 7.
Yes.
Yeah.
I loved that episode. It was honestly one of my favorites. I think it was because it followed a really nice narrative, and we were talking about, you know, like Haas and Alfa Romeo together, and then there was, you know, a little bit on Mick and Antonio Giovinazzi, who knew he had a personality, because we never get to see it, but he was so lovely in that episode, and I really, really enjoyed seeing him with his family. And, you know, it's so easy to forget that all of these drivers have the same goals. They all want to be at the front of the grid. It's like Antonio Giovinazzi, he is not there, and he's likely not to get there, but it doesn't make his work any less than what any of the other drivers do. And I think it was really nice that we got to see that aspect of him. We got to hear him talk about his dreams in Formula One and what he's trying to do to achieve them. So I actually really I think Gio's Gio is underrated. Yes, RJ. Yes.
It was
I
like Gio as well. Like, I've never seen his family before.
No.
And
Yeah,
I don't know
it was lush.
Yeah.
I think it was really nice because obviously on the bingo, when I was creating the bingo card for DTS, I was like, Gio won't get any screen time. And then it literally popped up and I was like, oh my God, I actually get to know about Gio. Like, I get to know his life. I was like, you know what? I'm never going to give this guy stick ever again because he's actually so wholesome.
Incorrect.
No.
Come Bahrain on Sunday.
No.
Oh my God.
But we're probably not going to see Gio at Bahrain on Sunday because they're going to be focusing on someone else. He's like the Carlos that never gets shown. That's Gio. But it was just so nice to like sort of learn about his family, and like he actually is quite funny. Like he's actually really funny. So yeah, I was all happy to see him.
Yeah, okay. So FSeries now stands Antonio Giovinazzi.
That's what we are. We'll change the Instagram handle. We'll change the Twitter handle to Gio Fan Club.
Okay. Do we think there was too much of Red Bull Horner specifically? The answer is yes. Definitely, there's too much of Christian Horner.
Yeah. Why do we go to his house? I want to go to Toto's house. I don't want to be going to Christian's house. You know what I mean? Just not necessary, is it really? Especially when, they went all the way to his house to film him walking out of his door saying, "You can't come near me." And that was it. Like, you didn't need to do that. You could have just stayed at the track. But there was a lot of things in Red Bull. I think they're trying to get Red Bull in there because Red Bull are known as the team that are the spiciest ones in Formula One. So I think they're trying to get all the things that we can do. And actually, was it episode 1 or episode 2 where we saw all of Red Bull trying to get rid of Das, trying to get Lewis a penalty? You could see every single opportunity Red Bull were trying to take to beat down Mercedes because they can't do it on track, and that's the harsh reality. And I think we saw a lot of that, which was quite good. I feel like it's good that they brought that to light, and we kind of realised that Toto literally didn't care. He was like, "What are you doing? Go away."
That's literally what I was about to say. It was like you're just like trying to be like the sort of petty person at like school that gets you in trouble, but every time like it's not working. And it was just cracking me up when they were like, "We don't like when Toto was like, we don't favour a certain driver. We do our games on the track." And then they like zoomed in on Red Bull and they zoomed in on Ferrari, and I was like, you know what, like be petty, Toto. You be petty because Christian, throughout every single season that I've watched Drive to Survive, is always picking on one person. Like it's either Cyril or it's Toto or it's Mercedes or it's Alex or it's Pierre. So he's like, you know what? You be petty to him, Toto, because I think everyone knows how I feel about Red Bull. I just don't want to talk about them ever.
One thing I will say is I like how Christian Horner just talks to everyone in the paddock. He's just like, "Hi Toto," gives us an elbow, and then he's like, "Hi Ricardo, are you speaking to Cyril yet?" He's just planted it. He's so salty. It makes me laugh. No, I think Horner is a really good character to follow, like just like Ricardo is. It's like they don't always have the best storylines, but you will make a storyline purely to have them narrate or be the center of attention because they just are so.
And he just sits there with his little pot and he's just like Staring at it. Like, yep.
He can make it so dramatic, though. Like when he's in the booth bit, what do you call it? The booth?
When they're being filmed like singly.
Yeah, he can make anything dramatic. I'm
But
like,
everything he says in that little booth ages like milk. Like last year where it was like the 2020 season is going to be like, and I was like, well, half it is like disrupted. So
and then as he said it, we were just sitting there watching Lando Norris play COD on stream or something like that.
Do you know what he said this year? He was like, we've got 2 really strong drivers to challenge Mercedes. I was like, oh.
Well, I mean, technically you do, but you don't give them the resources. But that's another.
We're moving on from Christian Horner. He says, let's talk about Kvyat, where Kvyat was. He was nowhere.
No, I've got to say something about this, right? So because I watched them all back again. In Drive to Survive 2, someone said on the driver's parade to Kvyat, they were like, have Netflix followed you? And he was like, no, I think they forgot about me, so they can F off. And like, again, he hasn't had any airtime. He wasn't in like a shoot with Pierre, wasn't he? And they were like, can we just mention, actually? Sorry, I'm getting excited.
Yeah, let's just go to the shoot.
Why were they flirting with each other? Danny and Pierre were like, you look really hot. And they're like, oh, it's so weird, but nobody brought it up. So I just left it. But they were flirting with
that
each
we all need.
I can't be
Guys, can I just say there's like 40 people watching. Thank you so much all for coming to join our waffle, because we actually just talk rubbish.
And if you are new here, please be sure to subscribe. Road to 1K. We'll definitely do some more of these live streams. We'll get better equipment. No, what would you call it? Graphics. We'll make it beautiful.
We will sort out the issues for the next time.
We'll be on time. Yeah, what did anybody else think of Danny and Pierre then? Did we like it? I think they had a good relationship, actually.
They did. I enjoyed it. I hope Yuki and Pierre have a similar, like, cute, good relationship on track, a good relationship off track, but like fighty relationship on track, even though not too fighty, because I don't want no accidents.
I'm sorry, but just looking at Yuki, like, oh, he's so cute. He's so small.
Oh my God, I know.
Like, I just can't wait for when they're lining up or when they're like kneeling, or if they're still going to do that. And you just see how small he actually is compared to everyone. Like Yuki next to George, who's like, what, 6'1"? Could you imagine the height difference?
Honestly, it's ridiculous.
All right, we've got a good one. Did you know about Bottas's qualifying trick in Sochi? And what are our thoughts? Do you know what? I didn't know that Bottas had this streak in him, that he could be so cheeky. But I didn't even realize it at the time. And I was like, oh,
neither.
Wait, he actually did that on purpose. And then I'm like, but did he do it on purpose? Or is he just saying that he did it on purpose? But he did say beforehand that
he done on purpose.
Is
definitely
good
on purpose.
But the thing is with Valtteri, though, that's the thing that cracks me up. I was talking to Scale when we was watching it, and I was like, he literally said at one race, oh, you know, I don't mind the 3-second gap between me and Lewis. And I'm like, sorry, like, you should be really worried about that. Like, your seat is not going to be secure if every race is a 3-second gap, especially when Lewis is beating you in an actual race by 25, 30 seconds. Like, that's just a bit ridiculous. And I just think that sometimes, like, when he says, you know, what he says over the radio when he wins, 2 races a season, I just think, like, mate, you don't have the right to be like this sometimes. Like, I do really want him to do well, and I do want a battle like between them two, but there's just something about him that it just does not sit right with me, and I don't know why. And I think the way that he was in that episode sometimes just really put me off him even more, but then also made me feel bad for him. So I was like, I don't really know what I feel, but it's a hard one, because I want him to do well, but then also when you're saying things like, to whom it may concern, when you've literally won twice, like in this season, you can't really say that because it doesn't really back you up. So,
but I must say, it's very clever to do a lap and purposely place yourself P3. Because if I was to do that, I would be P9 before you know it, because it's the tiniest margins. But he must have really looked at his data and knew what he was doing. So that's one thing. It's very clever, and it's a skill that not many can obtain. So I like that.
Retweet. Okay, right. Let's talk about the other Mercedes driver that got no airtime. So, what did we think about the fact that George Russell was non-existent? George Russell was the Lando Norris.
No, let's answer this question. All right. excuse me, I'm having a private conversation with my girlfriend. Oh my god, it wasn't his girlfriend, all right, it wasn't Carmen, it was Alex Albon on the other line. All right. No, honestly, why did he not get any? I guess I get why you didn't give him airtime, because at the end of the day, nothing else really happened in the Williams that was worthy of an episode. But the fact that because he got stepped into Sakia so late, they couldn't just swap teams. Like, they were with Racing Point that weekend. You can't just swap because of COVID. So that's the excuse, is COVID. But if it wasn't COVID, oh my gosh, we should have seen him. But I think they tried to add little bits of him in there, like here and there, because he's a very funny guy. But unfortunately, it just wasn't enough for him, really, was there?
I was actually quite happy that they didn't show Sakir, because I actually don't think I could have sat through that again. Like, I was literally hugging this chair when it was happening because my heart was breaking. But also, I think this is going back to the whole where was Williams. George probably did feel really sad when Claire left. Like, Claire brought him into that team. So that would have been such a good way to them put him into an interview and put Williams into an interview as well, into an episode as well. So yeah, I am sad he wasn't in it, but also grateful I didn't have to see that whole mishap like 10,000 times.
True. Okay, someone who we're not going to see on the grid this year is Alexander Albon. Was he unlucky, or was it just expected after his performances?
I always said after Pierre, it's going to happen to Alex. I knew as soon as Pierre got dropped down, give it a year, Alex is going to be in exactly the same position, because it's nothing to do with Alex's performance. You know, if you look at Alex throughout the whole of karting and throughout his whole junior career, Alex was the Lewis Hamilton. Alex is a good driver. There's no two ways about it. He performed well in the Toro Rosso. The issue is the Red Bull, and I stand by that, and I will stand by that to the day I die. Okay, so I mean, it's kind of unfair for him to have lost the seat, but at the same time, I don't want to see him struggle like that anymore. It was really affecting him. I remember how much it affected Pierre. Did we see Pierre? Like, he was physically losing his hair. Like, he was physically losing his whole life. Okay, he was horrible, and now look at him, he's great. So I just feel like it's good for Alex and it's bad for Alex, because it wasn't like he could just drop him back down. It was like, you're dropped out of Formula One, and he's doing DTM. Nothing wrong with DTM, but when you're a Formula One driver going down to DTM, yeah. So I mean, we just have to see how Checo performs this year. I feel like he'd probably do better than Alex and Pierre slightly, but I don't think it's going to be anything. I think it's going to solidify the fact that that car is made for Max.
I feel like we have such differing opinions as to how this 2021 season's going to go. Me and you, like, they are so different.
Go on then.
Well, you think Aston Martin's going to do really well, and I don't.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Red Bull.
I think no, just different. No, because I think Checo's going to do really well.
Oh, yeah, no. He said as soon as he got in the car for the shakedown, he was like, I can see why this car's like so tricky. I was like, yeah, good luck. Not because I hate Checo. I think it's great, but
yeah, I believe in Checo. We'll see. So for someone who hasn't watched Drive to Survive yet, how would we literally explain it? What is there?
Okay, so basically for 10 episodes you'll probably see Renault, McLaren and Racing Point the whole time, the midfield battle. You'll see Merck being dominant as ever. You'll see Christian trying to give Alex the boot, and then I think that's all you can really. Oh, and then you see Ferrari being clowns at their own home.
Oh, yeah.
That's literally. It is very good.
It's a condensed 2020 season, bit repetitive, bit of drama, couple of team radios where there shouldn't be, and Bob's your uncle. That's it. But it's good. Watch it.
Welcome. Yeah, go watch it. This is your advertisement. Okay, this is something that I really want to talk about.
I hope you pick. Yes, Rosberg. Okay, you're going to pick what I was going to pick. Yeah.
I loved this. That's it. I just loved this part.
At first I was like, why is he coming back? I don't really like Nico. But then when you actually go past, and I was like, I didn't actually know that they were besties and then they were like enemies. And I was like, actually, this is really interesting. Like, I quite like the dynamic of that episode, like kind of showing how not saying anything about Lewis, because I absolutely love Lewis, but just how like the dynamic and the way that you perform and how good you are and how like the power that you hold can sort of change how you are with like people that you're once close with, and I really liked it. I was actually just gonna find my notes on it because I remember it, but I don't remember who they've
portrayed as the villain in a way, because they always like to do that. But I don't think they've done it to Lewis, did they? Or I hope they didn't, because if
I think they were kind of just trying to show that like Valtteri, I don't know what they were trying to get at. I was kind of think they were getting at that like Lewis like gets everything, because you know when Valtteri won and then like all the engineers weren't there and he was like, oh look, they're gone.
I'm finding my notes.
And I was like, oh, like they're trying to show that Valtteri is number 2 and no one cares. And I was also like, but
I don't know. I kind of got the vibe that from that episode they were trying to say, like, because Nico put a massive emphasis on psychology and like mind games, and I think what they were trying to get out of it is that the relationship with Lewis and Nico is so different to the relationship with Lewis and Valtteri, and that Valtteri's never going to be that Nico in Lewis's situation, so he'll never be able to get into his head like Nico was able to do. Nico is very, very sneaky on there. Like when he talks about what he was able to do and how he managed to beat Lewis Hamilton, he's very smug, and as he should be, because beating Lewis Hamilton is no mean feat. But yeah, I don't know. I really enjoyed that episode and the dynamic.
For me, from being the hardcore Lewis Hamilton fan I was 2015, 2016, it brings back really horrible memories, actually, because I remember how the team were with Lewis, and I remember how Nico was with Lewis, and I remember their relationship falling apart from when they were literal best friends. So it was quite difficult for me to watch, because it really reminded me of sad times when I used to defend Lewis to the ground. So I mean, it was quite interesting to bring it back up again, and it is still sad. I feel like still part of Lewis wishes that maybe it didn't happen the way it did, but you know, whether this is controversial or not, I don't think it is. I think it really just depends on the side of the argument you sit on. It was Nico at the end of the day that did ruin the friendship. You can tell he just has that kind of character, which unfortunately, I guess it's kind of like people have said Esteban Ocon is, when you get into a situation with your friends, when you're racing, you can't keep the animosity. You can't, you know, is that the right word? You can't keep the friend. You can't keep how it was. And certain drivers just can't do that. And that was what Nico couldn't do. And he wanted that team around him, and that's how it fell apart. So to watch it back was hard. It was really hard, because it brought back horrible memories of just Lewis feeling like
again. Jess has asked a question on how DTS portrayed the pink Mercedes, really. I just want to say I don't like the way they did it, but I did really like Lawrence Stroll in the context of it. He was so funny when he did that interview, when he was just sat and he was like, the allegations of us cheating are so disrespectful.
That's
we would
so
never
good.
It was honestly, that was honestly one of my favorite parts, Lawrence Stroll. I think he's such a character, and he's got such a business head on his shoulders. And even though I don't believe in Aston Martin yet, I know he does, and he's got some sort of vision for where it's going, and it's just how he's going to implement that. And I'm actually really looking forward to it, because I think Lawrence Stroll is not a dumb guy. He's very, very smart, and he knows what he's doing. I just don't know what he's doing yet.
You know, in the first series, when it was with Williams, when they were with Williams still, I just thought, you know what, I really don't like you. And over this season, I have just grown to love this man so much. Like, I find him so funny. And I actually think Lance is really funny as well. Yeah. We don't get to see that side. Like, I remember when we was watching it and Kira was like sent a message like, Lance is actually hilarious. And I was like, you know what? I actually do find him really funny. And literally that interview where he's just sitting there stone faced to the camera, like, and I'm just like, I can't cope. Like, he's actually hilarious. But yeah, I don't really like the way they portrayed it and like how everyone was getting on it. And literally, I was like, I've had enough of this. We literally spoke about this for like half the season. Like, get lost. But honestly, I think Lawrence is absolute G. I bloody love him. I love him.
So funny. No, but Lance and Lawrence were both funny. Honestly, sorry, can we just talk about, I don't know whether this radio was from this, because we never know about the radios, but Brad on the mic was like, go, go, go. And then you see Lance going down the pit lane and testing going, go! It's so funny. It's the funniest thing. You just get, go! Oh my gosh.
Also though, you know, I was actually fuming with him though, when Lance got his pole and Lance is like, say it, and he's like, that's a pole position. I was like, you've just got pole position, mate. You haven't got that for years. Like, be a bit happier. Come on.
Goodness me, Bradley.
Honestly, the most enthusiastic engineer in the entirety of the sport.
It's like, could literally be like, oh my god, FSeries got 1k subbed, and Kira's like, FSeries got 1k subs. Like, what?
Hi guys, come here to let you guys know we're here. I couldn't do it.
I can't.
Funny.
Right. I don't think we've talked much about the Ferrari episode. So let's talk about that. And Seb. Do you know what? I liked it. And I like how we focus on... I liked Mattia and Seb's contrasting angles to it. Do you know what I wish we'd focus more on? They focused a lot on how terrible the Monza weekend was. But Tuscany, the Mugello, is still kind of a home race. And that was their 1000th Grand Prix. They didn't touch on that like being such an important weekend for them. And how Seb just yanked up the whole weekend and just said, haha, no, I'm going to a new team. And he literally just stole their thunder. But we didn't get enough of the spice. I honestly thought it was going to kick off in that episode, and the way that they were building it up, it didn't.
I think it's because Sebastian didn't get to that point. Sebastian could have got to the point where he like spiced up that he exploded. And he was like, do you know what? I don't care. Can I? And they're like, you can't laugh this weekend. He was like, what do you mean I can't laugh? I'm going to laugh about our performances. Sebastian just got to the point where he didn't give a damn. And I think that's kind of where the episode went, because there wasn't so much that you could go to. But I did like their end when they started talking about their FIA secrets from the engine for 2019. I love that they covered that, because I almost forgot about it, because they have switched, put it under the rug so much. All the other teams, you got Toto, you got Christian, like, yeah, they done something fishy. Nothing we can really do about it. We tried to fight this. And then Mattia was like, yeah, I think it's done now, so we're not going to talk about it. And I love how that was edited, because that was like the end. I still want to know what went on. I can't believe that there's that sort of, I don't know what word to use, like that sort of politics, I guess, going on in the sport. Like it's frustrating. It really is. Because
do you know what makes me laugh? I was just thinking about how Ferrari protested Racing Point's brake ducts so fiercely, but refused to reveal anything about their FIA settlement.
Let's protest your engine then, shall we again? Let's bring it back up. Let's go to the law. Let's go
I think it was funny how obviously it all came out about Seb like going to Aston Martin, because obviously Checo's announcement come out and it was literally like straight away like obviously Seb, and obviously it was on the weekend of like their 100,000 race whatever. But also I just find it so funny because like what you said
100,000
like,
race.
No, 1,000 race.
How many races?
But like legit, the thing is with Seb, like he didn't get to that point. But do you remember when his car literally just broke down on track and he just got out, looked under the car and then started laughing? And I was like, he's literally done with these people. And I think it was just done so well. Like when Charles and Seb were talking to, I think it was they were talking to Will Buxton actually, and the PR woman standing there, and she's like, oh, because they're saying stuff that they obviously don't want them to say. And I was like, you know what, Seb just actually don't care. Like he's out of here. When he was like, this is my favorite helmet because it's got German colours on it or something like that, and I was just like, oh, like awkward.
He does it in such a good way, doesn't he? Like he puts the digs in a way that he's just talking, but like he's digging.
It's like the sarcastic digs that people might not notice, but if you do, you're like,
oh, he said that.
Okay, let's talk. You just brought up Will Buxton, and we know Will Buxton is an F-Series fan. But how much did we love seeing Will and Jenny Gao doing the like the little, what do you call it?
Talky bits. I don't know.
Like commentary?
Yeah, the narration. Yeah. I loved them. I thought that they provided a really nice contrast to each other, but they both complemented each other really well. And it didn't just seem like they had brought random journalists from the paddock. I think this is the best lineup that we've had doing the narration thing for the 3 seasons. Does that make sense?
Yeah. I mean, before it was Will and Chris, and I really enjoyed that. I think Will does an amazing job, and I also think Chris does a good job. I'm a massive fan. Chris is my number one journalist that I go to. Anything I want to know, Chris is on it. Chris knows it before anybody else. So I really liked Chris in it, but at the same time, it was great to have some female representation. Jenny is a great journalist. Jenny is also a great presenter. So she's done a really good job at covering everything. When I first saw her, because I was just expecting Chris, I didn't look into who was on it before. I was like, oh my gosh, it's Jenny. I would have liked to have seen 3 of them. I definitely felt like we could have still had 3. We could have still included Chris. But either way, I think Jenny was great, and I think that Will is so good at being like, this is so dramatic. He can make anything dramatic, even if it's not. And I think that was so good. So yeah, I think they all did an amazing job.
Yeah, I mean, even from the times we've spoke to Will, like he's just like his brain is like he has so much in there.
Yeah.
And literally you can tell he's so passionate about his job, which is so nice. And I think the bit that got me the most is when he like started tearing up. I think when they were talking about the Antwerp crash, or I don't know if it was the Grosjean crash actually, but like just like it doesn't just affect the inner teams, it affects everyone. And I just think that was really nice to get like their sort of insight in it. And obviously big up Jenny, because when I heard that she was going in there, I was like, oh my god, we've got a female in there. Like, yes, go on girls, like we're getting in there. So yeah, I really liked having them too. Obviously really love Will, and yeah, I really like seeing Jenny on there. I think she did really well.
Yeah, I agree. I like them. I hope they come back next year. And maybe if COVID isn't as prevalent.
Come on, was that last year?
But hopefully maybe we'll see a couple more journalists, and then they can kind of like alternate, because it was 10 episodes. So we could have definitely have introduced some more journalists. We're doing great. But I think that duo was perfect, and I loved it. I thought they were great, had great additions. Right. What further is there to talk about, to discuss? Is there anything further that we want to bring up to the people? Do you have anything further you would like us to discuss?
You know, episode 1, where they're obviously talking about not going to, when they got to Oz and then had to leave Oz. You know what really got me was when Lando was like, yeah, I think if someone gets it, I'll probably still race. And then literally like 2 hours later, McLaren is withdrawn from this weekend's race. And I was like, Lando, like, come on, man.
Yeah. I wish we saw a little bit more.
No, you go.
So I just say I wish we saw a little bit more in Australia, because they were all there. So it would have been nice to see even a little bit more about what people were saying, because what we saw on the surface is what we were seeing that night. I remember the night exactly. I was doing more like news reporting, so I was sitting there waiting for this news, like waiting to post it everywhere. I just remember being up that whole night saying like, is this going to go ahead, if this is not? So I would have liked to see a little bit more from them. I think we could have more footage, but maybe they just weren't sure what to do, so they just kind of stood in the paddock. Like, I just
think it's so funny when you actually just saw Esteban wearing a mask, even though no one else was at that point. He walked in straight in a mask from the get-go, and I was like, he knows what to do. And I was just like, you know what, like when I saw McLaren pulling out, at first I was like, why are they even there? And then obviously when Lewis in the press conference was like, cash is king, I was like, that's the reason. But I just really liked how they were like pressing it, like how McLaren was like, we're not racing, like no, we're going straight away, we're just gonna go. And I think it was like that was sort of make or break. And I remember going home from placement and literally just sitting there, and it's still like 10 o'clock and it still hasn't been announced that it's cancelled. And like my friend who was doing a placement in Melbourne, she was meant to be going, and she was like, I'm here, and they're not letting me in. And I was like, I don't think you're getting in, babes. Like, I don't think you're getting in. And obviously when I woke up the next morning, it was like,
nope, you're not getting in. Can we just
it just made me really sad, because it made me remember how close we got to the season actually starting, how much hype was there. I was so excited, and then it just didn't happen.
Yeah, but if that break didn't happen, FSeries wouldn't have been a thing, and we would not be friends.
Well, yeah,
it might.
I think Steffi's like, I still want it to happen.
I wish I wasn't.
FSeries, Australian Grand Prix.
Can we just talk about what Lucas said there, though? Because I forgot about this until he's just said that. Wish we'd seen when Kimi and Seb left for Australia before the race was cancelled. I remember this. They just were like, yeah, I'm off. But like they knew.
Yeah,
they knew.
No, because you remember they were actually, it was at some point it was speculated that they were going to receive like a fine or something for leaving the race before it had actually been cancelled. And I was just there like, oh, they knew. They were just like, they were like,
but they just went together as well, same plane. They just went home. They were like, no, I'm not sticking around for this, sorry. Like, it's so funny.
I mean, they got home quicker than everybody else, so they didn't get stuck there like some people did.
True. And the thing with that episode is, I think with that one compared to the beginning of the season, you actually saw what a difference there was, because at the beginning there were fans, no one was wearing masks, like there were a few hand sanitizing stations, but it was basically normal. And then towards the end of the episode, and then we're kind of getting towards the beginning of the season, you really see the impact that Corona has had on the sport as a whole, because it was so quiet in the paddock, literally dead. They're so sparse, there was hardly anyone there, and then everyone comes back and they're all wearing masks and, you know, walking far away from each other. And, you know, Daniel Ricciardo's like, can I even like touch you, you know? And it highlights what a different world we lived in. And, you know, I don't even know if we'll ever go back to that. Now I'm just not even talking about
That's getting deep.
Will we ever go back to that world where, like, we don't all wear masks or, like stay away from each other? Do you know what I mean? It's so weird, and it has had a massive impact on Formula One. And I wonder how it will continue, especially in the 2021 season. We know we're not going to start with fans, but will we have fans towards the end of the race once, you know, vaccines are picked up and stuff? So, yeah.
The fact that you've talked about this season, Liam has said, are we going to finish the stream without chatting about the general F1? So do you want to say a little bit about, obviously, this weekend? Or
Yeah, let's do a Bahrain preview. Okay, so who's on pole? Who's getting pole?
Lewis Hamilton.
Lewis. I'm going to say Max.
Sorry, that's not funny. Sorry.
Well, the Max stands. We can be friends now. So yeah, Max and you two are going Lewis. Okay, who's going to be on the podium?
Lewis.
I really
three on the podium, Kira. 3.
I want a bold one. I know it's probably won't be bold, but I just want to say a McLaren, or I don't know, go with a Alpine. Who knows? That's the. Oh yeah,
Sebastian. Aston Martin supremacy. Am I right, ladies? Oh, Charlotte's definitely going to say yes. Charlotte say yes.
Yes.
I think Seb's not warmed up in that car yet. If it's gonna be anyone, it's gonna be Lance.
I honestly feel like AlphaTauri is going to be doing some bits this weekend. Let me tell you, both are in the points right now. Not because I love them.
We'll back that.
But I think it could happen. It looks so strong.
I'm just trying to think at the beginning of the season. Everyone just, you know, no one's figured things out. There's always mechanical retirements. Who's going to retire?
Ferrari, Haas.
I'm going to say a Haas. Yeah, probably Haas. I'll just forget some of the teams, you know, like Alfa Romeo, like one of them might.
Who's going to, like, what if we have, like, an incident at, like, that? Because that first corner is difficult to get everybody around. It's a tight corner.
Well, yeah, just look what happened.
Do you know what someone needs to do? The Johnny Herbert send into turn 1. Who remembers the Johnny Herbert send into? He was P1 by turn 2. Someone needs to do it.
Which one of you is it going to be?
I can definitely see it happening in Formula 2. And I'm putting my money on.
So excited for Formula
2. Samaya's doing it. No, I think we can. I mean, this weekend's going to be great. Also, this is my shout out to everybody who hasn't watched Formula 2 before. This is your weekend. We're starting this weekend with Formula 2. I got the girls on it last year. They're absolutely obsessed. So if you do not watch Formula 2, get on it for this year. You will not regret it.
And this week, the times for the races are all pretty decent. They're all like 10 o'clock onwards. So there's no excuse to be asleep.
Yes. The Purple Sector will be tweeting the schedule.
Yeah, every race weekend, I will put the schedule out for you guys. So
I think we should get this to an hour, though. Should we talk for like 10 more minutes? I feel like we should get this to an hour, solid.
Okay, well, we've still got 40 people.
We're just going to talk for the sake of it now? What?
No.
Guys, what do you want to know about the season ahead? Or do you have any more Drive to Survive questions? I feel like we drifted from Drive to Survive
Or do they have any questions about us while we're here? You know?
Yeah. If you want to know a little bit more about us, I mean, how Steph got that amazing bun, you know.
It's cute and messy today. Look at that. Look at that little curl.
Oh, Nikki's starting. Yes, Nikki, start Formula 2. Perfect. Formula 2 is amazing. Formula 2 supremacy. Oh my goody gosh.
Formula 2 is actually much more exciting than bloody Formula 1.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I want to know who will
Formula 2
is
in the middle. Why is Seth so small? Right. I am tiny, okay?
I don't think she can control that.
Unfortunately, I'm 20. I cannot grow no more. I am.
Liam's got a good question. Are any of us going to an F1 race this year?
Well, hopefully.
Well, I have Silverstone tickets and I have Hungarian tickets, but who actually knows? Like, I really want to go Silverstone because Kez is going as well. Will and Elliot are going. Steph, are you coming?
Kez? Wait, what? You're going Silvo now?
I'm not going Silvo.
Oh, I thought Kez was going Silvo.
Well, I can go to Silvo. I can easily book myself some tickets, but I'm going Monza. Me and Stephanie. Yeah. Hopefully,
so me and Kira are going to. Me and Kira were going to go to Baku, but then as a street circuit, we were like, this one's at risk of cancellation. So we thought, no, we're going to go somewhere else. So we decided on Monza, but I have now changed my mind. I also not changed my mind about Monza. I'm still coming to Monza.
I was like, what?
But I want to go to Silverstone as well because Silverstone is my birthday weekend, and also I have some plans to go to some other ones which I can't reveal yet.
Mm.
Woo.
But also, we'd love to go to some other events. Like, we'd love to go to a Formula E race. I think we all would. I want to go to Goodwood when it's proper Goodwood. We know Steph went last year. I want to go to 24 hour Le Mans. Should we all just get a tent and do Le Mans? Let's just do Le Mans.
Let's go.
No, I need a decent sleep schedule.
Oh, you know, this is what Steph is like every time we talk about Silverstone. I can't camp. I must get a hotel. I'm just like,
no, that would be me as well, though.
No, stop exposing me, guys. I need sleep. Otherwise, I will die.
True. Look at this. This is a good question here. Who will win Formula 3 this year? Wow. We still don't know the full grid. We've still got like 5 more seats, I think. I mean, Archer Leclerc, maybe. It's gonna be tight. It's always tight in Formula 3. It's always, a bit of a mess. It's gonna be a Prema probably. So you're looking at the 3 Premas, really. I honestly, I don't know what else to say with these feeder series because it's just Prema at the end of the day, isn't it? Really. Bestie, we could have our bestie, Frederick Bestie.
Yeah, bestie.
We are so Frederick obsessed with Frederick Bestie.
Tinas would actually cry. Like, he would fully cry if Bestie won.
He would actually cry. He would probably cry over Marcus winning with Frederick.
Oh, God, yeah. Yeah, like Liam just said F2 champion. Who do you think?
Kira thinks it's Oscar Piastri, but it's not.
Oscar Piastri, but it is. But if it's Rob, I'll be well happy as well. So
I think
because you'll be wrong.
I think in our predictions vid, I said Rob.
You did. I think everyone said Rob, and I was like, Oscar.
Yeah, that's true. Go watch our F2 predictions.
Yes, that was very good. I really enjoyed doing that video. But yeah, I mean, F2 I think is going to be really tight this year. I think we've got some really good drivers. I think it's going to be competitive. We've also got obviously the funny drivers that make it F2, But I think it's going to be very good. I'm really excited for it. I can't believe it. I actually can't believe we're actually watching Formula 1 cars tomorrow and Formula 2 cars. Like tomorrow we're going to know who's on Formula 2 pole for the Sunday race. Can we just add? If you haven't got your head around the format, oh God, it's confusing.
Yeah, I don't get it, but I'm just gonna watch and try and get it.
I've got it now. I must say I've got it in my head now, but it doesn't mean I like it.
Doesn't mean I understand it, but it doesn't mean I understand it.
Yeah, that's how I feel.
Me.
That's how I feel.
But yeah, I'm excited for the weekend.
Yes,
but then can we just talk about the fact that we've got 3 weeks after?
I know. It's like Formula E. That's what Formula E do. They start their race in November, don't come back till February.
I'm literally gonna miss the race as well because I'm at the Spa. It's like I'm at the Spa on race day.
Spa,
I was like, what do you mean? You're at Spa?
I'm at a Spa. Yeah. But I'm going to miss it. I might have to get my phone out in the swimming pool and just watch it.
You've got to, Charlotte.
I can't. Where is it? Imola?
Imola, yeah.
Oh my God, yeah, I can't miss Imola.
You're going to have to see if they've got TV somewhere. I don't think they do, though, do they? That's more. Like
I mean, we're having lunch at 1, so I might just extend it to 2 so I can watch it.
Nikki has just reminded us that we actually do have Formula E and Extreme E. Guys, Extreme E, let's talk about that. I'm going to tell you all, you need to get on it. We have a Formula E Extreme... We have an Extreme E video coming out in the next couple of weeks, and it's going to tell you all the reasons why you need to watch Extreme E. And the weekend is the 3rd and the 4th of April.
It's just next weekend?
Yeah, not this weekend, next weekend. And then I think the weekend after that, we've got Formula E. So you guys get on it because there'll be videos coming on all of that. But mostly Extreme E because why not?
Electric season, baby.
Yeah,
also, MotoGP starting this weekend. Now, I want to talk quickly. I know not only everybody's in MotoGP. I was really into it a couple of years ago, like 2017, 18, 19, 2020 kicked off for, I think, everybody. And I really just didn't watch MotoGP, I think, because as well, it's just not as accessible for me as other series are. I think that's one of the main reasons I can't really be bothered to find a stream. However, I'm determined to get back on the MotoGP hype because I missed such a good season last year. I missed a season which was full of turmoil. So I promise But I will get back on it.
Yeah, the reason last year was so tight was because Mark Marquez
Because
was
Marc
not
Marquez
there.
was not there.
Marquez. But yeah,
And we didn't have like
me and
Lorenzo
Kira
or
are,
anybody, so
yeah, me and Kira are actually
Moto.
MotoGP simps. We do actually really enjoy it. But like we said, it's so difficult to watch because BT Sport on top of Sky Sport.
Oh, no.
All
And
these
they're so
motorsports
far
that we're
behind
into,
as
they're
well.
just
Like
too
they're
spending.
so far behind in everything. Like in terms of like modernization, like in terms of like reacting with fans, they're really far behind, and I struggle to engage with it as much as other things. So
yeah,
they've got all the followers. Like they used to have so many more followers than Formula One, but over the last couple of years, Formula One have just exceeded it, and it's thanks to Liberty. So Liberty, get your way over to MotoGP because they need some help.
Defo.
Yeah. I'm watching W Series this year: Extreme, FE, F1, F2, F3, MotoGP, 2, 3, BTCC, W Series again because of Alice Powell. Yeah, I mean, I'm watching all of them as well, pretty much.
Kira, when's DTM starting?
I want to say July time. I think they normally start. They do like a summer thing, really. DTM. They don't tend to go too far in. So I presume it would be like June, July time, but I don't know for sure. But DTM as well. Going to see Alex Albon, Liam Lawson. Oh, going to be juicy.
It is.
Steph,
We've got a lot to look
get the video
forward
pass. What's the video? Oh, the video. I did see the video pass on MotoGP website. Don't you have to pay for it? I haven't got any money.
We will look into that for you. Okay, we've hit the hour mark. So thanks guys for sticking with us.
Thanks.
Buzzing. We've done a good job. I hope you've all enjoyed this live if you've made it this far. So thank you to our hardcore fans. We love you. And we love you if you are a new fan as well. So make sure if you are new, you hit that subscribe button down below. Drop this a like if you enjoyed it. Oh, first GTM race is on the 8th of August.
A little bit later now then. That's fine. I knew it was around then.
Also, do not forget we have F-Series Friday video tomorrow.
It's going to be a great one. So we will see you tomorrow night, 6 p.m.
I'm not really trying to remember what the F-Series video is tomorrow.
I've got it in my head. I've done this one now.
Yeah, I figured it out. Don't worry. We'll see you guys tomorrow we'll see you tomorrow in the Prem chat. We will see you guys tomorrow. Thanks for sticking with us. We'll see you later.
Guys, if you want to carry on talking to us, get in our Discord because I'm going to just hop over there in a minute and talk to you guys. So if you're not in the Discord, the link is in the description because I'm going to go over there now and just chat some more. So thank you, everybody. And we will go now.
Okay.
We will go.
We'll finally go. Okay, thanks, guys. We love you all. Bye.
Bye.